What's up? I'm the AC, and this is Nintendo. So, I've been playing a whole lot of Pokemon Shield. It's been out for a few days now. Um, this video is just going to be my first impressions of it. So, I played it all Thursday night, played it literally all day Friday, played it a lot the next days. Uh, and as I was playing, I was like, man, this is a really going to be a long game. So, I've beaten the main story. I've beaten the epilogue story. It turns out it wasn't as long as I thought. It turns out it took me about as long to beat this game, maybe a little less than it took me to beat past games. And it surprised me. I beat the main story in a little under 40 hours, maybe right at 40 hours, and then it took me a few more hours to beat the extra epilogue story. Right now, I'm sitting about at 50 hours, and I have about half the Pokedex complete. My Pokemon are about at level 70, my party at least. And it's, yeah, it was shorter than I expected. It really feels like it's a big game or it's going to take a lot of time, and it didn't. It took me about 10 hours to get to the first gym, and I think that's what made me think it was going to take a long time. Most of that is because I spent a lot of time in the wild area. But, so, that's my first impression, is the game isn't as long as it makes you feel like it is. Here's my second thing. Overall, I love playing it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. And there's surprisingly few things I didn't like. But there are some. Um, I'm going to say negatives first because save the good for last. Why not? Uh, Graphically, it looks fine. Whenever I was playing it, I was like, oh man, this would look great in 3D on my 3DS. That's when I realized the graphics are hardly enhanced. And then there's times when you're up against structures like trees, bridges, underneath the bridges, they get kind of pixelated. I don't know if that's because they wanted it to be kind of see-through or bugs, glitch. I don't know. It looked really bad. And I'm not usually one to complain about graphics, but these were obvious. These were too obvious. Um, then the next thing is when you're in the wild area, I like that there's other players being shown, but it also causes a little lag, which isn't not that big of a deal. It's not like a heavy, fast-paced game, except for on the Rotom Rally. That's the only time it really gets annoying. The last negative I have though is the hand holding. You can't turn the experience share off. I knew this, but man, it like beating the game with most of your Pokemon nearly at level 70. It's too much hand holding. And then your rival, Hawk, he gets the starter that's the weakness to yours. Why would they switch it up? I don't. It doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, I don't know. The hand holding is disappointing, anyways. On the other hand, they made it on the positives. They made a lot kind of more independent. They took away the rider Pokemon, which I hated. They still have the Romtod Dex, but it doesn't seem like a Pokemon is controlling your Pokedex. It's like a Pokedex with the Rotom design on it. And then, you know, you have like the taxi services, you have the metro, the trains and stuff like that. I think that's all cool because it's not relying on other people's Pokemon to help you. It's like, you know, real world. You know, you would take a taxi, you would take a train to go to places. You don't always have to ride Pokemon, even though it is a cool thing. I wish you could ride your own Pokemon, not someone else's. Whatever. Um, the other thing I love, I absolutely love it because it's fucking adorable. It's just Yamper in general. I even saved a clip on the Switch of a Yamper just a wild yamper, just chasing me around. It's adorable. It's great. Um, Battling's fine. It's the same kind of stuff. Dynamax is really cool to see. You kind of get over it. And then Gigantamaxing, I haven't really done myself, but you know, cool forms of Pokemon. I don't know. The negatives are kind of more interesting to talk about the positives, because the positives like, good job, you keep doing what you're doing. Negatives is like, I don't know why you're doing this stuff. But yeah, the story overall was okay. It's more relatable than, you know, past stories. And the epilogue story was a good addition, because I felt like the story was lacking just a little something, and then that little extra epilogue added just enough. But yeah, I'll probably do another video next week to talk about what I've actually been doing in the game, because most likely I'll still be playing the game in a week. Put in a lot less time than I expected, and I put in a lot for only a few days. But yeah, what did you think of the game? What are the negatives? What are the positives? Was it better, worse than you thought it was going to be? I think it was better than it was going to be. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Pokemon. I'm the AC. Thanks for watching. Bye.